Hi, I'm Jose Diaz of Diaz Tools. I'm here to show you how I make my Groda knife. I start off with a template. I use this one for the Groda. It's my Groda bushcrafter. And I set that on there and I trace it out. I then use this bandsaw to cut the template out. I then use this horizontal grinder to shape the profile. Profile, I send the blade off to heat treatment by Peter's Heat Treat. It's certified Rockwell 59 to 60 at this point. They polished off a little section here and Rockwell tested it, and that's on each blade. So my goal is to have a 10-degree bevel across this plane here. First thing I do is I set my gauge at 0 on my work rest, and then pivot my platen to around 10 degrees. And so what I've done here is 99.6. It's very close to a 10-degree bevel here that I'm going to be initially grinding. Now this is how I do my initial grind. There's my 10-degree bevel initially ground in up to a center line. Then use this bubble jig, really neat little tool, bubblejig.com, to determine my grind angle. I set this off to an angle because then it allows me to hold the blade a little easier. This is a 10-degree bevel that I'm grinding in. It's an infinite grind, so it's going to grind from the bevel all the way down to the edge. I use this bubble jig to set my grind angle, and once that's zeroed in this section here, then I know that I've got a 10-degree bevel. I then set this blade into a file guide, which is made by bubblejig.com. Then I put my bubble jig on there, and again this allows me to get my precise grinding angle. Another step is surface grinding. This is where the scale is removed off the top of the knife. This is the horse trailer mat material that I use for the handles on my knives. Right now this is in the raw. It's really great material, extremely durable, waterproof, very tactile, and quite forgiving. I then go ahead and trace out and cut out the handle material, which I'll then attach to the knife. Now that I have the handles glued on, I have to go ahead and profile the handle to shape. Here's the blade and the handle attached, and I've got some brass rivets, some hollow. The last thing I need to do to finish this blade is to sign it and put my mark in. Here's my marking station. This is a stencil I use to mark the blade. I attach it by a little scotch tape there at the end. For chemical etch, this is some electrolyte solution that I'm pouring onto this plate here. Don't need very much. Etcher on. And it's on the etch. Mark on there the way on. I got put a little alligator clip on there for the ground, which completes the circuit. And I go ahead and apply pressure to the pad. I hold that on there for about 90 seconds. I can see the mark in the blade. And she's done. I just have to do one final stropping and clean up all the fingerprints off of there. And the Groda blade, the Groda bushcraft knife, is done. Now here's a Groda in a kydex sheath that I make. It's got a fire striker on it, ferro rod, 1/4 inch ferro rod with a striker on it. Kydex sheath, and here's the knife itself. And as I've said, these are razor sharp. Now what's nice about these knives is that bevel is the sharpening guide. And that allows you to sharpen the knife precisely every time. You just lay the knife right on the stone, right on that bevel, and push it through until you get that razor sharp edge again. I also make leather sheaths for these knives. And that fits right in there very securely. And these pouch sheaths are really great. Again, very, very secure, not coming out unless you want it to. I encourage people to have a lanyard on the end for safety, as well as the assistance of being able to pull the knife out of the sheath. Blah, blah, blah. Yay, I got through it. Another test, because I am such a goofball. I am in my basement laboratory.